Welcome to the Lakers Zone.
This is Jay McCaskey, and I'll be your host this season for Lakers Zone. I'll be bringing you interviews, updates, and a lot of news regarding our men's and women's basketball team. For this segment of Lakers Zone, I'm here with Coach Gordon Gibbons in his 12th season as head men's basketball coach for your Clayton State Lakers. Coach, we're going to get into it. We're talking about the preseason. How did your preseason go as far as practicing and blending your players in together?
Well, Jay, I think it went really well. A situation not uncommon in our program and in other programs. We had 6 players coming back with experience, 5 in our rotation last year, and 3 starters. And then 5 of those guys started on our international tour this summer. And we have 6 new players, and of those new players, only 1 is a freshman, so all of them have college experience. And it's a process blending because you're teaching a system, and those guys need to get comfortable in the system and learn how to play together. But I think it's gone really well, and we made a lot of progress.
Oh, good, Coach. With your newcomers, how are they able to transition into your brand of basketball at Clayton State?
Well, we start in the preseason with all our conditioning because we're a pressing, running team. And they've got to get in good shape, and they've got to be able to sustain through a lengthy practice. And the most important thing for players is to buy in. And I think this group has bought in, and that makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, the squad, they opened up this year. You had a couple exhibition, and then you jumped into your season, Tennessee Temple. How do you feel your guys did against Tennessee Temple?
I thought the Tennessee Temple game fitted kind of into the pattern that we like, being a pressing team. Temple had played 4 games prior to playing us, so they had a little bit of game experience going. But what we were able to do is get a spurt with our press in the first half and take it out. And then I thought we finished the first half really well and went in at halftime up 13. And those are a couple of things that you really like to see, a spurt with your press that leads to some easy baskets, and then finishing the half.
Talk about some of your key players. Tony Dukes, he's been definitely a great guard in getting everybody involved to the game. Talk about how important he is in your offense and your defensive systems.
Tony's one of our captains and a player that I've watched develop from the time he was in middle school. It's really neat to see him this year in a leadership role. Last year's first year in, it's hard to be a true take over the team type leader in your first year, but he's really he along with Jerron Dobbs have really done a great job in the captaincy. Tony, we're asking him, particularly now that, with some injuries and some players being out, we've asked Tony to play both the point guard position and his customary wing position. And he's worked so hard in the summer to be a better ball handling guard, and he's just really doing a good job, and I think it'll continue through the season. And
the good thing about Tony is he just seems to be, willing to do whatever the best for the team. If you need him to come out and then, sit there and observe to take a look at things, his attitude seems to be great for this team in the leadership role that he's asked to perform.
No question about it. I think Tony's one of those guys that in his senior year, all he wants is for the team to be successful. And he knows for the team to be successful, he's going to have to play well, but it's not in any way a selfish attitude. Tony's going to do whatever he has to do to help this team. And the other thing, Jay, that I want to mention about Tony is he might be our best defensive player. It might be our best defensive guard. He is, and that's something that he really takes a lot of pride in.
Against Tennessee Temple, guys shot really well from the field, but I want to talk about the rebounding. I feel like everybody stepped up, even your guards, with rebounding the basketball and really getting that ball out in transition. Going into the practice, Was there a big concern about rebounding against this team?
I think we've had a big concern about rebounding from when we first started this year. In this respect, in our first exhibition game, we were out rebounded by 9 on the boards, and that was very disappointing. That's something that we really talked about as a team, and really have gone to work on. And we're going to be a team this year that's going to play 4 guards pretty much all the time. And so if you do that, if you are a 4-guard team, all 5 guys got to rebound. It can't be a situation where you just depend on, you know, your 2 bigs to get the boards and now we're running. All 5 guys have to rebound. But I think we're fast enough as a team to have all 5 go to the boards and then still get out and go on a rebound.
And I think you guys played a solid game, you know, 20-point victory. You out-rebounded by 17. You seem to push and control the tempo. Going into the rivalry game or your in-state rival against West Georgia, how can you get the guys to buy into this week and take it game by game? Especially, you know, we all know that West Georgia wants to come in here and really silence the crowd early. How can you get the guys to stay motivated and push that tempo and control the game?
It's going to be a challenge, Jay, because West Georgia's a grinded-out offensive team, and by that I don't mean they're going to walk it up the floor. They're not. They're going to push it and try to get numbers and get an easy basket. But if they don't get that easy basket, they're going to throw 10, 11, 12, 15 passes in a possession and move people around. And what we have to do is be disciplined defensively and not, you know, gamble and give up easy things to them. We've got to handle their patience. They've got experienced guards, and they're going to be ready for the press. They were here, they saw us against Temple, so they have, you know, had time to get ready for it. And it's going to be a battle of wills. It really is.
I think one of the surprises for them when they come into this gym, not only the crowd, they're going to have to overcome your half-court defense because they're banking on the press. But actually, I'm more impressed with your half-court defense and the way you guys really defended Tennessee Temple. Talk about your one-on-one defense, because it seems like the guys really, really took a commitment as to keeping them on one side of the floor and not letting them penetrate the paint.
You know, our philosophy is in the full court with the press, we are gambling. But once they get it across half court, then we're going to be what's called solid, which is we're going to try to keep that ball out of the paint, either by the pass or the dribble. And I thought against Temple we were pretty effective, but Temple was a pattern team, and we were pretty much ready for what they were going to run. That makes it sometimes a little bit easier. Tonight, with Georgia's motion offense, West Georgia's motion offense, it's going to be a real challenge for us to do the things that we did against Temple.
Okay. Finally, after the West Georgia game, you have Wingate. What is the key in going into Wingate and saying, we got to get this win on the road, especially it's our first road game? How can you go in there and pull out a great win for the team?
Well, here's what this week is a big week for us, because West Georgia and Wingate are both non-conference in-region opponents that both were in the NCAA tournament last year. So you know, it's got to be West Georgia first, and then you got to get ready to go in and play Wingate. You know, we are playing them over the Thanksgiving break. A lot of their students won't be there, but that's going to be a really tough game because Wingate really finished the season strong last year, and they're very well coached and have very good players.
Okay, Coach. This has been Jay McCaskey for your Lakers Zone.